Okay, so it's currently 11:15 at night, but I just watched the first episode of Kiss Me First, and I'm going to be doing a weekly series review, or a weekly review series I should say, and I thought it would be interesting to try and get a first reaction segment of the review, and this is that. So, firstly, wow, I've been super excited for this show. If you follow me on Twitter, then you probably will have heard me talking about it for quite a while now, and it really did live up to my expectations. As first episodes of series in general go, I thought it was incredibly strong. It asks a lot of questions whilst giving you just enough answers so that you're not completely confused, but doesn't let you be drip-fed information. It's all about questions, it's all about setup. The character of Layla and Tess, I think, are being developed quite nicely at the moment. It's a nice gradual speed. I'm interested to see where the exploration of sexuality kind of goes, because it's definitely looked at in this episode, not massively in depth. I'm not entirely sure about the way they present it, but I probably need to think about it, maybe watch it again to better comment on that. Obviously, the visuals were absolutely stunning, both the ones set in the real world. There are some really gorgeous sort of landscape shots of London with really lovely colouring that's just, oh, I absolutely adored it. And also the animation visuals are amazing. Someone on Twitter referred to it as kind of Fortnite-like, which is a game, yeah. And I do agree with that. It hit the balance just right with being visceral and vivid without being too realistic. It had a nice imagery. I really liked it. Those are my first impressions. TV shows like Kiss Me First, which is a young adult TV drama, shows like that make me so excited about the way TV dramas are going. As a YA fan, as a TV fan, as someone who wants to go into that industry, and I'm just so glad that the episode didn't disappoint. It lived up to my expectations, and I cannot wait for more. More on this in the morning. So I'm back. It's the next day, I've watched the episode again, and I'm going to talk a little bit more about She Did Something, the first episode of Kiss Me First. The pacing of this episode was really effective. We start immediately after the death of Layla's mother, which plunges her into complete isolation. So some of her later actions in the episode, as well as her dependence on Azana, is so justifiable and actually draws a lot of sympathy towards her character. This episode is really about the setup rather than the real story. I think that is always a smart move for the first episode of any series, and works really well for this one because it's part animation and part real world drama. Some of the subplots introduced with the other characters within Red Pill, I think it's called, work really nicely along the side of this episode and kind of come to fruition at the end. They're real hooks, and that's what you need from a first episode. Tallulah Haddon and Simona Brown were real standouts in this episode as the two protagonists, Layla and Tess respectively. Their immediate connection with awkward hesitance on the part of Layla was really truthful in this society and this generation. And I'm really intrigued to see where the character development of Tess goes, because clearly nothing is as it seems, and I suspect some deep trauma or dubious ploys are just under the surface. In regards to the probably more than platonic relationship between Tess and Layla, I think the episode balances a line between showing the freedom of sexuality and almost voyeurism, with the clubbing sequence and the following scene in Tess's place being hyper-sexualized. But I think it does it really well, especially since it's made by the same people who created Skins. You understand that it's more about glamorizing teenage life whilst also showing the sinister undertones more than anything else. Overall, I really just loved how strong this episode was. To see a female-led show that is surrounded by technology is so refreshing, since it's such a male-dominated theme and genre. The thriller and mystery elements are set up so effectively, with the final moments hinting at the underbelly of Azana and a society that is becoming increasingly dependent on technology, a society that isn't too different from our own. It's a really strong and ambitious episode that is excitingly youthful, and I cannot wait for the next episode. So that was my review of She Did Something, the first episode of Kiss Me First. If you enjoyed it, then please leave me a like and a comment down there, and let me know whether you're watching this series on channel for yourself. Also, be sure to subscribe for more, and I'll see you when I see you.